A service value chain begins with the demand and the demand profiles along the processes and along the organizational units within an organization, and ends with the technology bricks and the supplier features which are brought in outside to finish the whole service a company brings toward the market. So the service value chain here is divided into the planning section, where the process domains, the organizations, and of course the demand profiles are saved. Within the service packaging part you have the measurements, the initiatives, the features, the requestable parts, and all contractuals to prepare, and then you can go directly to reporting and to set up an official service catalog where you shrink all together into a service value chain divided by the different services you have to deliver. Here you have the records for service desk and for service operation here. Okay, let's dig into the process domain. So at the beginning you have the requirements and the demand. Let's start with the demand definition. You see here you have a process domain structure. Within the process domain structure, of course, you choose the process domain, and then you have within the process domain 4 pre-described process names and process descriptions. Let's have here, by example, material delivery planning. You see it is captured on a specific day. The process outcome is the material plan on production slot. Here you can enter the HTTP link to your document management, or you can use the file manager of the service itself, and of course you can define here a process KPI. So here you have a short description of the process, and here the profile where you define who, when, where, on which locations, and with which electronic systems and bricks you deliver the results of this process. Exactly this profile gives you later on the possibility to plan resources and to plan specific measures. What you should know is this is always asked with the business or with the service consumers, and here you have criteria like overserved process profiles, supplied process profiles, or undersupplied or underserved process profiles. Or sometimes functionalities are missing. Only along those 4 criteria you can figure out if you can optimize something, but that's only one. The second one is if you have standard technology within this process or not. And of course, which existing services are needed to run and to improve this process you have defined here. So let's save this and go to the next step, the service packaging. You see here you have predefined standard services, and within those services you can define measures. I will insert now a new measure, by example implementing supply chain management system. Reason: old system end of life cycle. The assigned service would be the supply chain management services. So this would relate to specific application which is not defined yet because you implement the system, but it relates to a standard database set on Oracle. It relates to a platform which is made here on Azure, and it relates to a server type Windows Server 2012, and it is for all locations. You have a budget about $2,500,000. The responsible is Mr. Glaser. The status is here requested, what means you have to decide over the investment, and now you save. You have the measures, and those measures are now linked with the standard service list. Additionally, you have here the definition of all possible service features. You see here an assigned service, so this is a predefined title, and of course a catalog of different features which are possible normally within this category. You see here that we have about 423 standard features here prepared for you, and this gives the acceleration fact within the EA Service Planner. If you have something predefined, you go into the workshops and only answer needed, not needed, needed, not needed, and if there's something missing, here you have the possibility to enter it before you compose the entire service catalog. Additionally, this here is about the standard features. On the request side you have the actionable parts. The actionable parts are normally named as service catalog items within tools like ServiceNow, Sharewell, Remedy, Force, or whatever tool you need on the service desk. So here we have already prepared about 180 request categories which can be performed automatically with the existing technical infrastructure offered at the market. Here we have acceleration 2. Imagine you are in the service desk workshop. You think about what are the candidates you want to have automated within your service infrastructure, and then you have a brainstorming or maybe some ideas. Here you have a list, and within this list you can decide needed, not needed, or maybe there's something missing. Imagine how quick this can go. The next is about the options. Additionally, we have here prepared almost 125 options by different services. So you can decide here at the very fine granularity which options you want to have within your service environment and which options you don't want to have. But let's have a look into the structure of feature request and service options, because it's always the same. You have here the service, you have the option, the reaction time, by example with 5 minutes, agreed solution time 40 minutes, the decoupling point would be the seat of user, because you have an additional iPad to deliver. The price of the option would be $500 US. So this is a single price, or a unit price, sorry. And the price itself would be 500. Okay? So here you can define service levels at the deepest layer of a service. This gives you the flexibility that you can draft services which are very near on the demand structure of the customer and the process, and of course it is very, very strongly aligned to the demand profiles you have defined before, because there you have realized you need maybe exactly this reaction time. But not only for this, you have a service level management and contract management functionality built in the service packaging functionality. So you can enter here all underpinning contracts, what mean all maintenance contracts, all external contracts made with providers, with outsourcers, with cloud providers. You have here the contractuals, the partners, the account manager. Let's look in here, and of course you can calculate here if there is conformance with your service levels. At the end you enter here a link for your HTTP file server, or you save it directly within the file manager I've shown you before. Look here. So here you have the contract management. So at the end, here you have defined your service definitions at the very, very detailed level. And if you want to compose the front list, so the official service catalog, you go in there, you select your service, by example SAP, the core operation. This is maybe in operation here, made by the SAP Competence Center. There are no service measures at the moment within there. This is done internal. The applications are SAP FECO base installation. You can assign here, of course, Unix based, SAP base, Oracle. Here the links for the systems documentation. You can assign clients, specific workstations. You can define if this is a super user organization or not. You can assign the features. The SAP services. Here you have defined what can be ordered. Then you go to the supported business processes. You see supported business processes have not been captured for this service. If they have been captured before within the service plan functionality, there would have been a list here. Then you define the basic data, by example a systems availability of 98%, standard times, adhering specific security confidential levels, defining the service prices, defining the service ownership, who manages the relationship of this service, for which locations this should be defined, operation time, reaction time, emergency clauses, maintenance windows, and of course the application owner. What you have here is the structure of the basic service definitions, and at the end you can add additionally specific service options. You can ask what are the supporting services within SAP base operation. So supporting services mean always if they don't work, the quality of the SAP service is impacted too. I've chosen all these supporting services, and now you know for all this you should have internal agreements or underpinning contracts. So the question is which contracts you should take. You should take the following underpinning contracts. Here we have not yet defined internal agreements. If there would have been defined internal agreements, you would have here the list, and we have not yet defined service level agreements with external customers. At the end, you see here, beginning with the service definition, ending with the links where you have the evidence of planning and of service design, that the whole service value stream of this dedicated SAP service is documented within evidence. This is saved as record with a specific service number. You have a change history. You can assign here a document ownership for this record, and you have saved it here. Up to this moment you publish now, you have fulfilled the criteria of the service catalog management within an ISO 20000 or an ISO 9001 certification process, and of course you can use it for communicating outside towards the business or for planning activities inside your organization, because you can export the service descriptions via Word, via Excel, and within your customizing process for your personal EA Service Planner, of course, we are able to create for your HTML documents too. At the end, if you start now and you go deeper into the parameter level, you see even the pre-definition of the packaging and of the catalog is possible for you, so you can add here additional severity levels. You can define here your own process domains, your own process ownership, your own locations, and you are absolutely free to add additional fields. If you enter support and send us an email, the data model will be enlarged and the whole system will work customized on your demand.